We were working on a roguelike project where I was using like sample maps and stuff like that to make things. That evolved into making my own maps. I hate making maps. Maps are like my least favorite thing to do in RPG Maker. I love making systems and event flows and stuff like that. I hate making maps. And so I started thinking to myself, like, how can I rework this project to make creating maps simple for me, but also create like an interesting roguelike project? For some reason, 2D Zelda entered my mind. And then I've also been playing Dragon Warrior Monsters. And what Dragon Warrior Monsters does is when you go into a dungeon, it kind of puts you into something like this. Each screen is like, like a level, kind of like in 2D Zelda. When you go down, the screen changes into a different layout. And that just keeps happening. I think that might be an interesting idea to combine with like our randomly spawning, treasure chests and things like that. There are things we can add, like maybe challenge, rooms or totems or something like that. I originally thought about using a card system. So each time you go to an exit, it wants you to choose a card, depending on the card you choose. So you could choose like a snowy biome, you could choose like a fire biome, and then maybe you could choose a different tier. And each tier would provide, maybe better loot, but also stronger monsters, that kind of thing. There's a lot of stuff that I kind of have to redo. So I've completely redone the designs for our 3 starting characters. I really like how Tamara's new design turned out, but I completely redid the designs for all 3 of them. I've got to redo some skills and stuff. I've got to remake some enemies. We could do one of 2 things. We could have it like I initially planned, where each time you leave, you have to, choose a card. It creates a biome, the next biome for you, puts you in like a random, snowy level or something like that. Or you start off in just the, the world map biome. You get to the boss, you defeat the boss, that unlocks the snowy biome, and then it's just completely random after that. Or maybe you just choose a card every 5 levels or after every boss that creates random stuff for you. I want modifiers in each little area like this. So like, obviously the first few levels you don't want modifiers because you're not leveled up or anything like that. It's just, I'm still in the early stages of planning out like the concepts and how I want it to work and stuff. A lot of this I just kind of created as like a proof of concept to see how it would function. We've got a little character creator here, or a character chooser, which is pretty cool. I think that turned out pretty good. I want to put their like name up here, maybe a weapon next to their name to indicate what type of class they are. Maybe we list some stats over here on the side, something like that. Let's choose Adriel. And then it kind of spawns you here. You go here, open the chest. I got a world map card. We go here, use the world map card, and then it spawns us here, which obviously if we were going from the left, we would want to spawn in the next one on the right. So it would have to choose from a list of maps that have an entrance from the right available. But you see the treasure chest is respawned, and it's only got 1 item in it at the moment. So we get that, go here, same thing. And it would be kind of like that. But I feel like it would get a little tedious using a card every time you get to an exit. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. Maybe we put doors or gates on specific exits that allow you to choose the next one. So maybe not everyone is chosen by you, just specific ones. Like you come across like a gate and you're like, oh, I can now change the biome that I'm in. There's just a lot of things as far as planning goes that I want to work on, but I do want to work on this. Like this has kind of reinvigorated my interest in it. And I also want to go and just work on some pixel art stuff. Like for some reason, I really, really want to, can we view the system, the like window image and stuff here? Yeah. I really want to like go in here and just recreate this myself with just some very basic pixel art to make it look more like older Dragon Quest games or something like that. Look very simple. And then I want to go and like take these grass tiles and make them look like very simple rudimentary grass tiles. I want this to have more of a retro look. I don't like these very like soft colors. It's not it just looks smooth and soft. Like it's nice for modern games, but that's not what I want to create. I want to create a very retro looking game. So I want to go through and like redo a lot of this stuff. I was in my my graphical editing program, I was just taking these assets and reducing the color depth to make it look retro-esque, but I don't really like that idea either. I kind of just want to create it myself just to have that experience. I always wanted to learn how to do pixel art, I just never did. So, but I mean, that's just kind of what's going on with the project right now. I need to go ahead and just spend a few days working on concepts. Obviously, it's never going to go exactly as you plan, but it would be nice to have some foundations laid out as far as design philosophy, so I'm not winging it like I did the last time. And with the other project, since I was winging it, things got just so far out of hand. And revisiting some of these things like the spawn process, and even this version is not great. The way that I have the spawn process set up is it goes through and checks. It starts on this row, on this tile, and it checks if this has a particular region ID. If not, it goes to the next one, and then to the next one. And it goes all the way through here until it gets to the end, and then it goes down a row, it goes all the way through here, and it just scans left to right each row. And if it does have the correct region ID, then it does a dice roll to see if it wants to spawn the event there. The problem with that is, statistically, I'm pretty sure it is going to spawn the event on the top more, like towards the top half of the map more often than the bottom. So what I need to do is just make it truly random. Like it chooses a random number between all of these, or it chooses a random tile between all these tiles, checks, then rerolls random. My only concern there is that if it's choosing completely random, there may be a scenario where it takes forever to actually find a spawn location. So that's something I'm gonna have to test out. What else do I have going on in this project that I want to rework? You can kind of see down at the bottom here. Also, the music so loud. You can kind of see at the bottom here, it's got level 1. I definitely want an entire like section somewhere in one of the corners that shows what map you're on as far, numerically. I wanted to show the modifiers that's on the current map, stuff like that. And then along, when we have the like gates or whatever, where you choose the next place you want to go, we will have like challenge rooms, rooms where you can add another character to your party, just different specialized rooms that maybe have super hard modifiers but are super rewarding. That's kind of where I'm at with the roguelike project right now. I'm not finished working on it. Synapse Fade is definitely on hiatus. I don't know how much more I'm gonna work on that at the current moment, but this is what I've got going on here. For the next dev diary, I want to have a foundation in place so that we can just start creating things based on that foundation.